So, for a match that not a lot of people were excited about in a feud that no one cares about, that was amazing.
A lot better than I thought it was going to be.
Well, hold on a second. So I told you guys it was going to be good before it started. I'm like, it's got to be, right? For them to actually, I kind of feel like they had no choice. They had
no choice. It had to be good.
The thing is, I had a feeling it was going to be really good. I really like the stipulation. I like the whole gamer thing. I think it's just silly enough. I had a feeling this was going to go over really well, and it really blew me away.
The only thing is, I honest to God thought they were going to fight in an arcade. So I thought it would be shot on location. Not a cinematic match, but just shot on location. So I was a little surprised.
Chuck said very clearly there would be arcade machines positioned around the ring, and then they would try and put someone's head through a machine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know, but I still thought they were going to bring a ring and put inside like an arcade. I thought like the whole entire ring was going to be surrounded by arcade machines, like a lumberjack match.
I thought
that's kind of more what I pictured, but I did really enjoy the variety of arcade games that they had with the whack-a-mole and the air hockey. I really enjoyed it.
There's a lot of things to love about this match. So it wasn't the best wrestling because most of it took place outside of the ring. It was more of a brawl. It reminded me of the Mankind Rock brawls that used to take place across the arena that were just really funny.
Yeah.
I mean, they would beat the hell out of each other, but it was also super, super funny. We had spots in which they would use, I don't know what you would call like the hammer for that game, and they would
the whack-a-mole mallet.
Or just like the way they piled up all of the debris and the arcade machines.
Oh yeah, and he tried to pin him under all the crap. Oh, that was so good.
That was really smart though. I'll admit that was like hilarious.
And I like how everyone was standing around. It looked like it looked like they were in like the video game like Street Fighter. You know, you have like the characters in the background watching.
Yes.
And then of course we had the surprise return of Statlander out of the machine from Toy Story with the little green aliens.
Oh, that was so perfect.
Yeah.
Ugh, and I had no idea she was like. There's so many surprise returns. So good. When Orange Cassidy and Chucky T were like crawling up the ramp, and we're like, what the heck are they doing crawling on all fours? Like, what is happening? And then all of a sudden, the white minivan, and we're just screaming, Sah!
Well, I was like, it's funny too because like as they were like crawling up the ramp before like Sue came in, I noticed it at first. Like I was like, why is there headlights at the other end as they're crawling up? Like what's going to happen? And then Sue shows up, and I was like, oh, holy crap, he's back! So that was cool.
Suvan shows up with Trent, which was the second big surprise. And then something really strange happened. I wasn't sure, like, I don't know, like, because it kind of felt, because the thing is, as you said, Mariko, this wasn't filmed live. And I think it was smart because I don't think they would have ever finished a match in time. Because it looked like at one point Miro was going to attack Sue and I don't know, like wreck the car. But then he quickly had to get back to the action next to the ring because they had to wrap up the match. So it was just weird how he went after Sue for no reason. But did you notice that it wasn't Miro who got pinned? He could have been pinned because they pretty much knocked him out, but they decided to pin Kip Sabian.
No, to me that made sense. That made a lot of sense.
Now Miro's going to go after Kip, right? He's going to be pissed off at Kip.
Yeah.
He's going to blame Kip. He's for sure going to blame Kip for the loss.
So, but then is Statlander still going to have a feud with Penelope Ford? Because I assume that Penelope and Kip are going to turn face.
Ooh. Well, I mean, not for a while. And I mean, they can still be... You don't necessarily have to turn face because you had a falling out with someone. I mean, just look at the Inner Circle Pinnacle thing going on.
This match was amazing. It was full of joy and excitement and surprises, and it was entertaining from start to finish. And the way it ended with the Pixie song, like, yes, we had the Pixie songs at the start.
Yeah.
But having the Pixie song play at the end of the match, having all four of them in the ring,
giving a big group hug and the thumbs up.
And Excalibur saying, gotta give the people what they want. Not once, but twice.
Yeah.
And then introducing Statlander into the family. I mean, like, now we have like 16,000 factions in AEW.
Who cares? I love it.
Yeah. Remember I said this a few weeks ago? I said it's like watching a TV show and you watch like a few episodes and you're a little like worried or upset, but you don't know how it's going to end. And you get to the last 2 episodes of like the first season and you're blown away because you need to get to those last 2 episodes. You need to get to the end of the story. And yes, the journey was bumpy. The wedding sucked and it stretched out way too long, but at least the payoff and the ending was amazing.
Well, exactly. I mean, like it did everything that it had to do to like get this story over. I mean, like I said, like the arcade thing, like I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out, and it went pretty well. There's like a few spots too that was really cool. I mean, like we didn't talk about the whole Lego thing. Like,
oh my goodness, the Lego spot, that was just pure brilliance. But that's the thing, like the best friends and Chuck E. T, like they are masters of like the crowd pleasing brawl. Like they'll go as silly and indie as they need to just to get the audience to pop, and this was just like the perfect synthesis of like everything that they do.
I know. I thought like that Lego thing was a good pop for me because I was expecting thumbtacks after learning my lesson the last time. So I'm like, because they're shaking the bag, I'm like, oh, here comes the thumbtacks, and then here comes out like multicolored stuff. I'm like, what the hell is that? And then they zoom into it, I'm like, that's Legos. I'm like, what the hell? So that was
because everyone knows that's the most painful thing to walk on in the middle of the night.
Exactly.
And it was those bumps looked terrible. Like I'd be curious, like what is actually worse, like to do like a poll of wrestlers and be like, would you rather land on a pile of Legos or a pile of tacks? And I have a feeling the tacks are gonna win.
It's a possibility, but Legos do suck. Having 2 kids loving to play Legos but not putting their toys away. So I stepped on a few Lego blocks in my years. And the only thing, my only criticism with the match though was that I was expecting someone to get thrown into an arcade machine, which unfortunately didn't happen.
No, me too. But they did destroy the Mortal Kombat machine, which was a little upsetting.
The Mortal Kombat 2 machine, yeah.
The one made out of cardboard.
But yeah, exactly. But
symbolism, Rico, the symbolism.
I know, but that was gonna be my other criticism too. Like I wish they took a different angle where you didn't see the paper sign saying insert coin on the screen.
Yeah. No, it literally just said tokens.
Oh, it said tokens? Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, what the that's bad.
Yeah, I kind of wish that the camera work was like I wish they took a better angle for that shot. I mean, like we do want to believe that it we want to believe that they're gonna use like a fake prop, but at the same time you want to make it believable, right?
Yeah. But I talked about this a few weeks ago too when we talked about the production values of the show, and watching a lot of WWE as of late. First of all, I'm always bored, but that's besides the point. WWE, they cut every like 2 seconds. Yeah. It's nonstop cut, camera, which is why Mr. Jim Cornette, if you ever listen to the show, which I doubt you will, they hide a lot of the mistakes that the wrestlers do.
Yes.
Now, you might think that's good, but for me, the camera work is nowhere near as good as in AEW. Now,
I'm going to have to disagree with you there. Or maybe it's not a camera work issue that I have.
The quality is better of WWE, but in terms of like the guy who works the switchboard, the guy who cuts in AEW does a better job.
I disagree. There have been multiple times where things are happening and then all of a sudden, like someone's about to go off a top rope, and then for no reason at all, we're cutting to some guy on the ground that we didn't even see get thrown out of the ring. That happened last night. The one that sticks out in my mind was the big women's match, 6-man tag thing from a couple of weeks ago. And yeah, it was the same deal. Like Maki Ito was like up on the top ropes about to do something, and then all of a sudden we're looking at something outside the ring that has nothing to do with nothing. Or like you'll see like people playing to the post cams, like the on the ring post cameras, and it'll still be on, like they'll be talking into the camera, and we're only seeing the wide shot.
Okay, now that you say that, I think you're right. But there's still like an extreme between both, in which WWE cuts a little too much, and they're not switching at the right time.
Well, because
Yeah.
it's like I mean, for like for Ricky's point is because I feel like AEW is more organic in its camera work, and WWE is so like cut and dry robotic. Like I don't
Well,
know.
I think they have fewer cameras, and I think WWE has a bigger budget, and
For sure, yeah.
they're more high tech, and their cameras are, they're just, I mean, what is it, like 4K quality?
Yeah.
It's just like insane, the quality of WWE.
Yeah, for me, the direction of AEW sometimes is like you're missing the action. We're not focusing on what we should be focusing on. Like, so, like, I don't know. It feels like someone's kind of asleep at the wheel sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look out for this closely next week, because right now,
yeah, it's been a pet peeve of mine for a while now.
But I've mentioned this. I've mentioned in the past too. What you're saying, I've had the same criticism in the past, but I think it's because last night I'm really thinking more about, for example, the Inner Circle versus the Pinnacle, and how I thought the camera work in that sequence was really well done. All handheld, by the way.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was maybe cut in post, but still. But in the last match, though, I thought not only the camera work, but I thought the switchboard operator did a really good job. Yeah, okay, we saw the side of the machines. I know what you're saying, that they clearly look like props. But there was action all over. It wasn't just in a ring. There was action to the left of the ring, to the right of the ring, to the back of the ring, all the way to the parking lot. I mean, there's a lot of people to follow too. It just wasn't like 1 versus 1. It was technically 2 versus 2, but we also had the ladies that showed up, and I don't know. And I'm thinking about the QT Marshall turning on Cody Rhodes and how they staged that, and I really liked the way that was staged, because again, it was so unexpected. Like, I had no clue it was going to happen until it actually happened, despite the fact that at one point they did cut to the far shot, because we needed a far shot to see the other 3 dudes get into the ring and help QT Marshall and stab Cody Rhodes in the back. So I'm gonna have to look out for this again next week.
Yeah, it's not uniformly terrible, but every episode there's like 1 or 2 moments where just like who is in the booth telling what camera we're like to cut. Like, it just, like, are you paying attention, or do you just not care? Like, what?
I don't know if you remember this, okay, but during the Lucha Brothers match against Kenny and the Good Brothers, I don't know if you remember this, okay, but during the Lucha Brothers match against Kenny and the Good Brothers, it was early on in the match. There was a sequence where Kenny and the Good Brothers were outside, and they were basically standing around waiting for, I believe it was Rey Fenix or Penta or someone to jump off the top rope and land on them. And he took too long. So it clearly looked incredibly fake, because you could tell that they were just standing there waiting for the guy to land on him, which was the big criticism JR had a while back about AEW. But I was watching that, and I was thinking, like, they couldn't cut because there was no camera to cut to, because I don't think they have cameras in back of the ring. Like, that's the thing. Like, they have the camera in front of the ring and to the sides of the ring. It's like they only have 3 vantage points of where they shoot the action.
I know, but like, put those cameras where the action is happening. Like,
because WWE has cameras that circle the entire ring. Like, it doesn't matter which direction you're pointing, they can get a camera shot from that angle, that vantage point. AEW, it's the viewer's point of view. So you got the shot that we would see, like, in front of the ring, and you have one which would be the, like, say, over the shoulder, the right shoulder, and one on the over the shoulder left shoulder.
Yeah,
it's always, like, it's weird. Like, I have to pay more attention next week when I watch Dynamite. I want to see what their camera work is like.
It's not about, it's like the way that they cut and when they cut. That is the bigger problem. And again, the thing with coverage, like, that doesn't account for my complaint about, people playing into the post cameras. That's coverage. Why aren't we seeing that? why do we only have the hard cam of that? Like, okay, I know you can't hear them, but like, if they're playing to that camera, cut to that camera. Like, the wrestlers know where the cameras are, and they play to the cameras in front of them. The director should be able to follow that, and that is the feed that we should be getting.
Well, I definitely agree. I mean, like there had, like, to your point, there has been a couple of like shoddy camera work.
But I'm telling you, Aaron, right now I have the match playing in the background, and it looks like they only have 3 cameramen. They have the guy outside the ring who's following around the action, like he's basically it's like a handheld camera. They got the camera that's overseeing the entire ring, and then they have the other guy on the right side who ends up going towards like the parking lot so you can get the shot of Sue Van driving in. But anyhow, I don't know. I'm gonna look out for next week. But I am watching this match right now, and I thought this entire. I mean, I love this match. Like, I'm actually going to be doing my list of the best matches. I mean, I've already started. So I posted a list of the best matches of AEW 2021 so far. I'm going to update the list this weekend. We can talk about it next week. But I think I'm for sure going to put this match on the list. I just thought it was just too damn fun to not put it on the list.
Yeah, totally agree.
Anyhow, loved it. Loved the new theme song for Orange Cassidy. Loved the name of the match. I even liked the font that they used for Arcade Anarchy and the actual arcade cabinets that they chose to replicate. You know, Mortal Kombat 2. I think they had Street Fighter.
No, they didn't have Street Fighter.
They didn't.
They didn't. There's not one single Street Fighter cabinet in that.
Oh, they had Pac-Man. They had Pac-Man.
Yeah, they had Pac-Man. They had Super Mario.
They had Donkey Kong. I think it was Donkey Kong. Was it Super Mario or Donkey Kong?
No, it was a Super Mario cabinet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like watching those cabinets just like made me want to be in an arcade right now and just like be playing them.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
Tough times.
There's also multiple referees, right?
Was there? To be honest, I didn't even.
There was. What's his face? Oh my God, what's the referee's name? He was really good friends with Brody Lee. He was the one that was crying during the tribute show. He was there, and Aubrey was there.
Remsburg, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So there was at least 2 referees, if not 3, but I know there was 2 for sure.
Okay, yeah, because it was so chaotic. Like everyone was all over the place, so it was hard to like keep track of like. I guess
because
bodies.
In the ring, Aubrey was the one that counted when he took the spot and landed on the Lego and he pinned him. She was in the ring, but the other guy's outside of the ring. Okay. So there was at least 2 referees, if not 3.
Wow.
I can't believe they buried Miro under all of that trash and somehow Kip Sabian ran to the rescue and saved the day at the very last second.
Watch Kip Sabian makes that as his defense when Miro questions him next week or in 2 weeks. But like my other question now is where does the best friends go from here? Hopefully now that this rivalry is over. I mean,
it depends. Like, are they ever going to introduce a 3-way tag team championship belt? Because at this point, I feel like they need it. And it would be a great way to showcase a lot more of your talent. Because, you know, having 6 people in one match is better than having 12 people wrestle in 6 different matches because you just don't have the screen time and the TV time to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that was the question I was asking myself. Like once this was over, I was like, well, I'm glad that this ended the way it did. So like, where do the best friends go from here, right?
Can I be honest with you? Mm-hmm. I really like Trent. Orange Cassidy is cool. I think I think he's got to be careful not to be in a spotlight too many weeks in a row because I think he can't. His gimmick can wear thin too quick. But I'm not a big fan of Chucky. I think he works with them. I think if you remove them, he would never be able to succeed as a solo.
Unless he went back to hardcore or something.
Yeah, well,
but who wants to see that? Like, I don't know. Like, but you know what? It's funny you say that, Mariko, because remember their feud with Santana and Ortiz lasted quite a while and ended kind of similar to this feud.
Yeah,
where they had the incredible hardcore parking lot match.
Yeah.
So I like them as a team. I really, really do like them as a team. I just would love to see them as an actual team, meaning like the 3 of them as a team wrestling for a 3-way championship belt.
Yeah, I think that would be really cool. I'm also looking forward to them supporting Chris Statlander during her feud with Penelope Ford, which will hopefully go somewhere. can be like a mini continuation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the only thing about her though is, man, can't she just drop the alien gimmick? Like, especially if she's
No,
gonna team
it's
up.
perfect. What are you talking
No,
about?
I don't like it.
Perfect.
Man, it's almost as stupid as Marco Stunt's stupid
When she
tattoo.
boops people in the nose, it's perfect.
No, I don't like it at all. I really hate it. I hate it.
Well, she looked freaking incredible. She looked better than ever since she came back. So I'm hoping, maybe she's had a little time to work on her mic skills and whatnot, and maybe she can make this work, or they'll just go like super silly and ironic with it, like, Dark Order, and maybe it'll work that way.
It'd be interesting.
Well, you see, it's funny because she would be great in the Dark Order because she is silly. But true. They put her with them, but I don't know.
I mean, best friends are kind of silly. They're also kind of like very ironic. So I think it works. I mean, they all know each other. They came out of the same scene. So I think I like that she's officially part of the team now. I think that was a good decision.
By the way, Penelope Ford, you can watch a bunch of her wrestling matches on YouTube where she wrestles like men, like intergender matches, and she kicks their ass. She's an amazing wrestler. I'm not saying that because she wrestles men. I'm just saying, like, I've seen these great matches with her, and man, they need to put her in the ring because
apparently she did wrestle on Dark this week, which I missed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I don't know when Marco Stunt got the tattoo.
It was recently.
Because nobody knew, apparently.
Is that a real tattoo?
Yeah. Because he had it in the Sammy vlogs this week too, so it's a real tattoo.
Oh man, I thought that was a sticker on tattoo.
I mean, maybe it's one of those like long-lasting, semi-permanent ones that they have now, or whatever. But I'm pretty sure that's a real tattoo.
I was like, did you really go for like a Kong like tattoo just because their match next week was presented by Godzilla vs. King Kong? So I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Still not as bad as Cody's tattoo.
Oh yeah, true.
And last but not least, the ratings are in. AEW 700,000 flat, and NXT 654. So that equals 1,354,000 wrestling fans watching live on TV, not including watching on the internet and illegal streaming services and whatnot. So, and by the way, with these numbers, they can never actually properly calculate the exact number of people that watch the show. It's like an estimate. So who knows what the actual number is, but I would like to see if that 700,000 moves up to about 800,000 when NXT is on Tuesdays. Getting to the 1 million is going to be hard. It's going to be a lot of work. Like if I'm watching NXT and AEW at the exact same time, like I'm saying, a lot of people do this, like these wrestling critics. So they have two TVs and both channels are on at the exact same time. And they're watching both shows, which by the way is stupid. But anyways, they're watching both shows at the same time. Does it count that as like one view for each? I don't know. I don't know how this shit works.
I have no idea how they count that stuff now. It's all completely changed. Like apparently Twitter is taken into account too. So like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not going to pretend that I know like how television ratings go, but I mean,
because a lot of it is BS. Like at the radio station I work at, every 3 months they release the ratings, and every 3 months, every radio station in Montreal says they are number one, and you're like, well, how are you number one, and you're number one, and you're number one? Because they're number one in a specific demo, like 18 to 20 for male or female, or 45 to 50, or it's a music station, or they're considered talk radio, or it's because it's English or French, or it's because it's within the province of Quebec, or it's actually in Montreal. Like they find whatever way they can work it so they are number one. They could be number one of people ages like 5 and under in like
charcuterie on a Tuesday.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, like it is what like if there's one thing that I heard about like television ratings, apparently demographic is like the most important. So I think like AEW is like top 5 in the 18 to 49 demographic. So
yeah, and the reason why it's the most important is because you're trying to like build an audience for the future. If your audience is like 60 plus,
Yeah.
good luck having them like guys like Matt Riddle, for example, and sticking around. Like, and then you got a problem because you're not targeting the younger audience. You're not building a new fan base. So eventually, you're just gonna like.
I don't know. There's got to be some 60-year-olds, man, that like scooters. I don't know. Anyway.
And on that note, I think we're going to wrap it up for this week. I want to thank Aaron Santos for joining us.
No problem.
And of course, Mr. Ricky D.
And do not forget, you can follow us on Twitter. It is Talk AEW Podcast, the Twitter handle. And you can listen to the podcast just about everywhere online, from YouTube to iTunes to Podbean to Spotify to Amazon. Like, it's on Amazon. It's weird. But yeah, all of the links are over at goombastomp.com. Just check the wrestling section and or the podcast section. Once again, it's goombastomp.com.
Goodbye.